Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm really excited to start this webinar tonight. So my PowerPoint is just to the side here. My name is Robin Holmes, and this is my sign name. I am from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. I do work for Saskatchewan Deaf and Hard of Hearing Services, and I've worked there for a few years, focused on early childhood family services. I'm really looking forward to host this webinar with you, all of you tonight. Before we start tonight's webinar, I would like to start off with a land acknowledgement, acknowledging that we stand on the land of Kanata from the east to the west, north to the south, all across Canada. We honor and thank all the Indigenous and diversity of the Indigenous peoples here, their contributions, including the resources, materials, trees, water, and so much more. Let us also remember that we have the opportunity to reaffirm our relationships with one another all across Canada, BC, Saskatchewan, and Ontario. Right now, we're working in collaboration with SDHHS and Silent Voices. Before we had DCS, Deaf Children's Society. They were working in collaboration with us, but they have shut down since. So I really wanted to give a really remembrance of them, the volunteer work that they did, the time that they offered their children, the focus on encouraging the support and the growth for their communities, and just the many years of support and work that this association fostered for everybody and the friends that are there and across Canada and across the world as well for all the work they've done. Next slide, please. I am ready for the next slide. Okay, this is our last webinar of the year, 2025. Wow, as I look back, you can see the list of PowerPoints that we've hosted and all the different topics and all the things that we've found. And I look forward to each and every other webinar. So if you do want to watch a recording from the past, please click on it. There's some resources that are available through these links as well. This is a safe place for everyone to be. It will be recorded as well. We do have this webinar focus for parents of deaf and hard of hearing children. That's our main focus. If there's no questions or if there's any interest, please, I invite the professionals at that time. But first, we like to let the parents take over the floor and have first choice. Thank you.
Can we send
So
it here by Friday?
Yeah.
let's start with who? Erin
Just give
and
me
Amanda.
all the day after I'll get it done.
And they're going to talk about how to make the holidays accessible for your deaf or hard of hearing child. Please welcome Erin and Amanda. Thank you so much to the both of you for hosting tonight's webinar. I'm really looking forward to see what you have prepared and any questions or anything that the parents or professionals have. Recommend them holding it till the end or during the presentation as we move along. What would you like, or to put the questions in a chat? What would you appreciate?
Thank you.
Can everybody see the PowerPoint on the screen?
I don't think it's ready quite yet.
Hmm.
Oh, there we are.
Hello, I am so thrilled to be here tonight for the parents. And thank you so much for taking that leap. And thank you for joining our webinar. I really want to make sure that everybody feels included and that there's a safe connection for family and friends during the holidays. Taking that step
Off the tree.
and just the value. So where the value is in what we do and just kind of showing up in your children's lives. And remember, these children are lucky to have you. So I'm really thrilled to be here today.
Next slide, please.
Amanda, would you like to start?
Sure.
Okay, I can start. My name is Erin. This is my sign name. I grew up in a strong oral family. My grandpa was deaf, or progressively deaf anyways. My father was hard of hearing. My father grew up, you know, with my grandpa's influence. Uh, he went to deaf school, deaf sports events,
Can't hear you.
and he
Watch
got
the
some deaf
Zoom.
work. He just really didn't want to be recognized as a deaf person, right? So really put on that mask to look like to fit into the hearing world. He could speak, but his first language was not English, or was English. He learned ASL much later on in life. I just want to share that part of my upbringing because I'll be giving you different experiences and different perspectives that I grew up in a strong oral family. So, and just kind of, so we don't have to learn later. So there's different approaches and different ways that we can learn now how to recognize how diverse families can be and want to share a little bit of that as well. My family looks like what? I have a hearing husband, and he has learned ASL at Gallaudet, and I have boys that sign. Around the table, we all sign. It is so nice and just like can take that breath of fresh air without the stress of communication around the table.
Thank you. Now I'm Amanda, and I grew up. We had hearing siblings, but we did learn sign language. I was born deaf, and so my mom especially, she was deaf too, and we had deaf cousins as well. My mom had a deaf cousin, so there was an influence there. So I learned sign language when I was really. There's four of us in the family who were deaf, so we all learned to sign. And so when we were at our aunts and uncles and grandma and grandpa's house, of course, there's a lot of hearing people there, but we were really in both worlds. We had both worlds in one family. There was always time for communication. There was always time to explain it in any language. And so on holidays, when the family got together, there was a lot of talking. Sometimes you would feel a little bit left out, but we would go from one form of communication to another, and really happy to be here tonight with you. Brandy, there's a request to have the interpreters turn on their camera.
Yes, my camera is on.
Next slide, please. Perfect.
I can hear the cameras are on or off here. What are we wanting here?
I heard the
You hear the
interpreters.
interpreters?
Right. Thank you. I think we're good. Anyway, I just wanted to talk a little bit here about what we're going to discuss this evening. The webinar is going to talk about, of course, it's going to be a bilingual webinar in ASL and in English. So we're signing, and then obviously there'll be interpreters interpreting into English. And the other way around, if there's anybody there who wants to ask a question in English, then the interpreters are there to sign it into ASL when the time comes. So there'll be that. And also we want to keep the cameras on for the interpreters, so that the deaf presenters can watch and make sure the interpreters aren't left too far behind and that they have time to stay together and we all can work together. We will be doing an interactive webinar, so a little bit of back and forth. I'll be doing some slides and Erin will be doing some, and we may have some questions, I'm not sure, but we'll see how it goes as we go. Oh, and fourthly, volunteers. Of course, we love our volunteers and happy to have the volunteers helping us out here tonight too. Erin?
Yes, and I just wanted to make the webinar is related with the slides as well, and you guys can communicate through chat. I will be keeping an eye on the chat as well. So if you wanted to sign with us, you guys are more than welcome to turn your camera on and sign, or you can voice it and the interpreters will pin them. And so we have many options to ask questions this evening. I look forward to your interruptions tonight and asking questions. So right now, we're requesting the interpreter's voice off. Okay. So we're going to do a little conversation without the interpreter's voicing. So here we go. And interpreters, we're ready for you again.
Right. My camera froze a bit. Was it good for you guys?
No, I can see it perfectly. It wasn't freezing at all. It was beautiful.
Oh, good. You saw the picture? Yeah,
Yeah.
it was such a great time. That was so good. I'm so glad you saw the photo.
Okay, hold on. Let's get the interpreters back in here. Next slide. So I can go.
I'll go. I think this is me. Okay, so the story that we just said without interpretation, we want to know, how did you feel? How did it feel to you? Was the story clear? Was it easy to understand? Did you struggle? Were you trying to catch words here and there? Or how did you feel about the communication? Of course, ASL is very visual. Did you notice anything that caught your eye specifically?
And you can respond in the chat box or through camera. So kind of like a whispering, a side conversation. It could be, maybe couldn't hear it. It's like maybe couldn't understand it 100%. I'm just curious, like, how did you feel involved? Was it fast? Was it easy to follow? Yeah.
Right. Any other comments? We'd love to hear your comments.
Yes. So I have like Teresa Thiessen, very fast. Wow, I can only catch a few signs. What are the comments in the chat? And Gloria, also same comment. I was trying to catch it all, but it wasn't possible. I could see all the gestures. It was just really hard to follow and catch up. And Sarah added, I was only could catch a few words. It was really tough to understand. And I didn't understand the whole story for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And how did that make you guys feel?
I think they were listening to
They loved
something.
it. Wait.
They were listening to something and responding how they felt about it.
Wait. See,
Yeah, they're like responding how they were feeling. I'm just waiting here. I don't see the interpreter, but I can hear someone talking.
side by side speaker, if we say. Oh, here.
What? You have shit all over your beard.
Yeah, I know, popcorn.
Amanda, Klags, Erin Green.
Okay, some good guesses over there. And also, I want to mention, you know,
Oh,
most people are motivated and trying to get the different perspective, right? I just really wanted to show you the perspective of it, of what a conversation looks like, whether you're hearing or not. And we should all kind of recognize that and just recognize each other. You know, we all want to feel included, right? That's just like the best way to feel. Sarah said, whew, that is a huge effort to try to understand in such a short amount of time. You nailed it. You nailed it right on the nose. Exactly.
Definitely. Definitely. And so Erin was talking about our trip a few years ago when we went to Belleville. We went for work, and then we decided to take some time off and do a little exploring. And it was the sand dunes kind of thing. It was beautiful, as you could see, but we wanted just to go on our own. And Erin took the photo of me. I was ahead of her, and that was what the picture was. And Erin was the photographer, and I was the person in the photo.
The whole point of this activity, what does it mean to be not in the conversation, and how the understanding of the challenges and how it feels, just to get that, just a little bit of a sample of what it could possibly feel like. And that's really why we're here today, is to explain how that would feel for on the opposite end for your deaf or hard of hearing child.
What big monitor?
Next slide, please.
I do. Bad.
Okay.
There.
And like I said before, I'm really thrilled that everyone is here tonight. I have lots to say about this, like just feeling small. You don't need to be small. You don't need to be small. It doesn't mean you are small. Not especially through the holidays. These deaf and hard of hearing children, also the parents, like more than ever through the holidays, just really feeling better, and just what it means. And family gatherings, getting together, what that looks like, conversations, like, and their deaf children not being included. I'm just kind of wondering is there enough activities going on? Am I doing enough? And what do the children really see and understand? And just letting the children know that we see you. You are important. And we've lived through this too. And your children aren't less than the noise, less than the voices in the room. They're not less than someone who forgets them. They're not less than someone who assumes that English is their first language. Everyone's important. Your child is valued. Their deaf identity is important. It is powerful. They're worth it, for real. And just when they leave, when they're in the room, remembering to match their needs. And when this time of season, to remember. And then just to communicate through honesty. If you're in a room, try to match your child where the needs are needed. Your child is brilliant. It can hurt to be left out. Your child is so smart. They have culture. They have the right to belong. And we're going to talk about how your child does not have to shrink to fit in the space. And we're going to talk through stories tonight and how to be together. And we're going to do this together.
Next slide, please. Thanks.
And why these missing out in these big groups of people and trying to catch up and trying to get attention, and why are people waving and missing out?
Right. I should mention one thing is this the speed, fast moving conversations and topic changes. It's very quickly, it goes so quickly, and the topics change so quickly. I know that I would often feel that I would just have that sense of feeling lost, and not to mention just the background noise, maybe in the kitchen, somebody's cooking, or there's pots and pans, or people are walking around, or there's doors closing, and also there's music, right? Yes, definitely music playing in the background. A lot of chatter, a lot of people talking at the same time. And then also the lighting. They would also dim the lighting at, nice dinner time, nice dim lighting, but I would need better lighting than that. I need to read their lips. They can't be in a dark place. I need to see them, and their face has to have sufficient lighting. So these are big reasons why it would be tough for kids during holiday gatherings.
Also want to mention that for now, today, like the adults struggling with a cochlear implant and the support and struggling with support. It's a lot sometimes. And like everybody's just learning, right? And just that lost feeling. Like how do you catch up? How do you keep up? There's so many topics, there's so much conversations happening, and I can't keep up. And it's like I thought maybe sometimes there's only me. And through these years, I just feel like alone. So obviously that was some of my experiences. Like the hearing people, oh, just never mind. It was like saying that to the deaf person. And then I felt like the problem was me, but it's not.
Definitely. I think it's nice if the hearing parents could talk to the family and just talk a little bit about the child that the little one doesn't understand the adults, and build connections so the adults can have connections with the little ones and recognize and make sure that they can recognize that it takes two, and that it's important to include them as well.
We're all human, right? And we're all painted with our disability. So is that real? Maybe. And ironically, maybe use their disability to help them, be more advantageous for them. So really have to stop the conversation and not forget about the deaf person in the room. They want to know, they want to learn at the same time and be involved. So here we have our next slide and strategies that will help through the holidays. Amanda already mentioned a few of the strategies, so bright light or a window if the sun's shining through. The sun can always, or sunrise, yeah, it can always lead to a little bit of glare. It's really important to really make sure the lighting is good. And I'm sure you've heard that from your ASL instructor or a deaf mentor or somebody. Maybe it's just a good tip to give the family members who'll be joining in the gathering. Just something that can be beneficial to the environment instead of throwing everything in at one time. And then how to manage these challenges, and there's information sharing and just being clear, having clear sight lines.
Yeah, I have an example. Right. So if a family, everyone's chattering and talking to each other, but maybe you have during dinner, for example, where everyone's sitting around a table and then the child can see everybody's faces, right? And so if one person is speaking at a time and doing strict role and turn taking, then that's very helpful. So Erin says that it just doesn't benefit the child with the hearing loss, it benefits everybody, right? Everybody can follow the conversation with what is being discussed at a time when there's structured turn taking. It's quite nice.
Sometimes you can have visual objects, visual cues. Then you can see it's clear who's talking, right? And you're not missing out. Maybe it seems silly, but with practice, get that. It's like, this is my turn. I have the object. And then everybody knows who's going to be speaking next. And it maybe could add some excitement, right? And it's like, yes, I want my turn to be next. I want the object. So, and it could, create that connection for the family as well. So using objects, I really encourage that. Speaking one at a time, I encourage that as well.
Right. And then less background movement and just interaction. Not a lot going on, like TV on or the radio on or whatever, but just so the kids can focus and they know who's speaking and they know it's less distracting for everybody.
Yeah, the communication access. I'll talk about that a little bit more in depth later on here. And communication can really be beneficial, and having a safe place that's really comfortable to be in. Have a communication partner. It could be parents. And what does a communication partner look like? Someone who's able to easily summarize a topic or discuss what's happening with you. Or you say, this person's talking about this. Or they could be giving you information of what's happening, or through gestures even. Say, oh, they're talking about the snow outside and how much snow we have. And holy cow, it's so hard to drive through all that snow. And I get stuck all the time. And the people are coming to help push me out. And just really using visuals to get through that story. I'm not an expert at visuals, but I know everybody's looking at me and watching my story. Anyways, I apologize.
No, it's good. It's all good.
And another option would be to hire an interpreter. Amanda, she has a really good point that she made before. You could talk to an ASL consultant or a mentor or organization, Facebook, find out where you can get a sign language interpreter. Maybe someone's willing to do it pro bono. You could see, you don't know. Some provinces will provide this. So you couldn't get an interpreter. I will never forget my parents, they surprised me with hiring an interpreter at my cousin's wedding. And I sat around the table. It was one of my first cousins. And I learned more about my cousins and my relations with that interpreter. They were like, wow, is that true? This is amazing. Oh my goodness. It was really fun. So I really appreciated that, enjoyed it, and it was a really good opportunity. And I really am grateful to my parents for understanding what my preference in communication looked like.
Right. And my mom and dad did that too. They hired an interpreter for family events, for funerals, weddings. When my grandma passed away a few years ago, my mom and dad hired an interpreter for that. It was so nice. And really, I found that more people, just like you, Erin, hearing stories from the past, and I did the same thing. And my brother and I would kind of get information, but then we realized how much we kind of missed out on. But with the interpreter there, we got the full story, and it was really quite enlightening to know more about our family, which we had missed out on some of the stories. But hiring an interpreter for family events, highly recommend for sure.
Next slide, please. So before we jump into solutions, I just kind of want to have a discussion on take the opportunity to ask the parents, with the different age groups, or if you have a teenager, looking back, is there anything that you wish you would have done differently, or parents now of teenagers, what would you do with a child with 0 to 10 or a child that's a little bit older? What are some experiences that maybe you would change? Because I'm a mom of 3 hearing boys, 3 coda hearing boys, and it's very different. I want to hear more honest comments from other parents. I want to hear from you. What would you do? Do you have any answers or wish you things you would have known or done differently? Anybody have anything that's open table? Okay, so we do have Annie. I do wish I would have followed my gut and got my child hearing tested sooner and got him on the right path and got the supports that were needed. For Gita, I'm still learning. My child's young. And then another person, iPhone user, says, I'm still learning ASL. And we have some other comments, same, agreeing with them. And I knew my son was hard of hearing is another comment. And they said that was justifiable. Some of their comments were justifiable.
The doctors told them that.
Thank you. Okay, and so just having teenagers and answer some of the questions there. 6 to 7. Anybody have any responses for younger ages? 6, 7. One to 6.
No, 16-year-olds.
16 to 17-year-olds. Interpreter error on that one. 16, 17-year-olds, they're teenagers. Thank you, interpreter, for correcting that.
Annie also commented, they suggested in one more comment was a doctor saying that the doctor said, no, I don't want to go into that route, and just to wish they had gone and seen different options. It seemed like many parents, I think, in the discussion with the younger kids, especially, that in hindsight, when they were younger, they wish that they were diagnosed at an earlier age and given way more options than what they were given. And some of them wish that they had learned sign language earlier when the kids were younger. Right, Erin, go ahead.
Yeah, I'd want to share one of my personal experiences. Just a misdiagnosis for 2 years. I was 2. It wasn't like early, but it wasn't too late. And now we know what kind of services are available. What are good places to go for, or better places to go to get that access to the connections. And there's many ASL apps, there's websites, there's good places now to get this information. And now we're off to a good start and we can get going, especially lucky to get going at an early age nowadays.
Mhm.
We can move on to the next slide. We designed these into 3 categories for different ages. So go ahead and take a look. There we have a variety of ages, birth all the way to teenagers up to 17. So here it is. Like, what we do for a teenager would look different than a younger child, and the conversation would look much different, right? They wouldn't be interested in some of the conversation. They'd be interested in play. And honestly, this is a good place to start, is through play. It's a good time for families to learn things their kids are learning at the same time. Like I was always, really interested in trains and how they worked and the sounds and choo choo and who was brought on the train. The animals were brought on the train. So that was a really good place to start and just learning the animals' names and put them on the train. And I'm learning through play, and I was able to learn sign language and the sign of the animals, and we were able to do that as a family. And aunts and uncles, having a good place for them, getting them involved. There's apps, Lingvango. I can't spell it. I'm lousy at spelling. Or even lip reading that one. That'd be an app. So sorry, I can't spell it. Anyways, it's really important to start that building your signs and getting that foundation, because it just gets easier and easier once you have that foundation. And now I can see, 3 to 4-year-olds laughing and teasing with each other and just doing short little sign sentences or using gesture. And that's all good. Sometimes, like I remember learning ASL at age 8. And I moved to teacher of the School of the Deaf, and my teacher was signing. I didn't even know my animals. I was trying to sign animals. So just that signs for adult conversations was really jarring. Like, wow, my gosh, what do we do? What's this sign for? Tiger and lion. I'm still at this level learning. And so, and some deaf aren't able to have these conversations with the young children, right? So just really being able to match the needs and using gestures, blowing a bubble and showing the blowing of the bubble. Those are all really good options. And, giving signs to aunts and uncles and family members, especially at the table. I love small tables. It's more intimate. You can get connected. I just love that scenario. In the past, what kind of food was made and brought to the table. And then we could teach the signs for that. And then you could ask your sign, oh, do you like this? I'm like, nope, don't like that. Just simple conversations. And you can have good laughter through this as well. And then do you want Amanda to tell your experience at school?
Sure. When we're talking about teenagers or school age kids, language, of course, is more advanced, right? And their sentences are longer and they have phrases and actual sentences. So when they're young and they're only toddlers, they are just at the building blocks of language. But when we're talking about school age kids, we're already talking about, fully able to make sentences at this age. And gesturing is good too, right? If you don't know the sign, you can gesture. It's not a problem. It's not wrong. You're making a connection with the child, and that's great. And they want to see you try, and it's really important that they see the adults trying. And also, when we do talk about the babies and the toddlers, if they are at a table, at a little intimate table, they're making more connections, these intimate connections with only 2 or 3 people at the table instead of at the big adult table where everybody's talking at once and it's hard to follow. This way, a smaller table, it makes it easier to, make connections. And I remember when I was little, I was happy to be at the table with all the other kids, right? We were at the kids' table. We had like 20 cousins, I'm sure, but I would be at the kids' table, but at a smaller kids' table as well. My brother and I, who could sign, right? And then some other cousins who were the close cousins who could sign with us, they would fill us in on what everybody else was talking about. So that was my favorite part of holidays because I would feel special sitting with my favorite cousins at the small table. Also, sign language, teaching a sign and teaching my cousin signs, right? Nowadays, we talk about that and you go, remember when you taught me the sign for such and such or whatever? I wasn't teaching everybody in the family the signs. I was just teaching a cousin or two. Looking back at that, it was a lot of fun. And the teenage group,
Yeah, it's really important to have that sign and really not just really take over, but it's culture, language is all something is very important, and just that uplifting and feeling good about yourself as well is important. Next, let's go to our third column. Different age groups would be different approaches, family gatherings. It's really important that we take the opportunity to chat with the teenagers, really give them exposure to be together with them, setting up at the table. As you know, who do you prefer to sit with? It's just really important to empower the teenager. Would it be a good way for them or a good opportunity to advocate for themselves and uh, find the support for themselves as well? And remembering to spot positive responses and still smaller tables, good opportunities. There are different options here listed as well. And move to the next slide because I do have a feeling our time is slowly slipping away.
sure. And Annie just put in the comments, she said, it does work with her son when she sits beside her son. She has sat there and filled him in and summarized what other people are talking about. We're not talking about the long explanation, but more of a summary and just following along of what they can keep the child in the loop. And so that it's not stressful, it's not very difficult to do that, but just little comments to keep them in the loop, to make little baby steps, make big success stories, right? And this is what we're really after, is a connection with the family. Really, this is what we want for these kids, right? Yeah.
Okay. So here's a most popular app is
Marco Polo.
Marco Polo. Thank you. Then this is a sign for it, Marco Polo. Is that what you have? Oh, you sign it this way? Okay.
I do.
I am going to teach 5 signs and we're going to learn together. Is it on this one?
The video's later. It's in a couple of slides.
Okay. So one way, before the family gathering, let's teach signs. Get prepared a week before. Let's get some family involvement. You could do some food. You could do manners, anything. You could pick your 5. And then challenge your family to, memorize these words, use them as often as you can when you guys get together. Start now. I'm going to teach you 5 signs now, and then use Marco Polo or a video that's on there. And then you can text back and forth and use sign through that app and communicate through the app. You can sign a video and then watch it. Next slide.
Do you want me to do this one? Oh, okay. So the relatives toolkit, this is tools for including your child in the family events. These are some ideas. Some ASL resources, really, there's lots of options. Some tips and tricks, some ask your infant hearing program consultant or your ASL consultant, your deaf mentor, deaf community member. They will have some resources, or also label things around the house. We have that at Silent Voice. We have videos and resources like that with ASL stories and vocab, really not just a few. We have quite a few. And the next one is in your home. If you do have labels, or if you do have the time to label things, just everyday furniture and the Christmas things, and of course, whatever the event is, if it's Christmas, then do Christmas signs and label those.
Yes, and you can even make a game of it. You could print, you could label the things, but you could also print and move the labels around once after you've print them and just make it a little bit more challenging.
But sign language is hard to put onto paper because it moves, so it's a little bit harder to put in print.
Thank you. And it's like, and then when you forget a sign, like door or kitchen, bathroom, it's really good way to develop connection as well.
No need to apologize. No, thank you for adding that. Yeah. Also group text, like Erin was talking about with the Marco Polo game. You can start with that. You start with that, the game, you learn the game, and it's like a game of tag on text. And you start with the first 5, and then you keep adding on.
And then, oh, I did miss one thing here, just the benefit of the labels. Like, so if you have a hearing aunt or a hearing relative, like, where's the bathroom? Where's the bathroom? You can say, oh, well, the bathroom's over here. You could just, give instructions through like conversation, like cousin would be like, oh, where's the bathroom? You could use through gestures and pointing, or the TV. It's like, I'm watching TV. Just really being ready to have the opportunity to connect with the family and through communication signs when they come over to visit. And you have the sign ready, like, oh, where's the bathroom? So they're able to sign it, right? So it's really important to be ready, to have things labeled, be prepared, and then be able to communicate together once we're all together. Okay, so here's one idea. It's kind of fun. I can't hear the volume.
There's no voice. Oh, is there?
Oh, yeah, I thought, there was volume. There's the captioning on the bottom is really small. So that's why the volume would help, because it's captioning so tiny. There's dad, mom. If it's signed right, there's someone in the off screen pointing if that's wrong. Shaking her finger, no. Oh, wrong.
Uh-oh. If we could go to the previous slide, please. It's really great. This is so much fun, right? This was Marco Polo, and they were talking about some different ideas and different signs, and just they made it into a game, right? Okay, everybody line up and let's test your sign language. And they said, what's a sign for this? And it's a great way to practice, but it's fun. And then they get the kids involved there too, right?
Mm-hmm. I just really wanted to share that, like just as a birthday celebration or something here.
Yeah. And I work with a child, and that one, their family, everybody's hearing in their family, but they have one child with the hearing loss. He's deaf, or they're deaf, and they decided to learn ASL, and the whole family decided to learn ASL. they wanted to sign happy birthday in ASL, and I should have had that video. But anyway, their signing skills of signing happy birthday is very different. The parents could sign perfectly, and there was everybody else. Some people were okay, and some people were really good, and the kids' eyes just lit up when they saw everybody signing happy birthday to them. All right. Did you want to add anything else here, Erin? Okay, I think next slide, please. Right. Somebody asked before about the ASL app. These two I put down. One is ASL Bloom, and there's another one that Erin put in the comments too in the chat. But these ones are very good. These two apps are good, but not limited to these two, that's for sure. But take a look and see what's best for your family. You'll know right away if it's right for you or not. So take a look and see whatever is best for your family.
I do want to add one thing. Sorry, I missed out. I was looking at different things on my computer here.
Mm-hmm.
And so kind of just watching the video, if you can't see the video, I was just like focused on trying to get the volume for that. Like I was really chatting with Megan, so I missed some of your comments, so I apologize. Megan was right. It's really important, like just a follow-up to label in English as well and sign.
Yes.
That could be really simple, a good opportunity. I just wanted to share that it is important to add both. So thank you, Megan, for that addition. Mhm. So why do kids miss out on traditions? Well, growing up, I come from a strong Jewish family, and we do have traditions. If there was no interpreter there, I'd be out. I would be bored.
At the synagogue.
Thank you. And no interpreter there. So if we had the interpreter there, we could, did they know the culture of the Jewish culture? So there was just a few barriers there as well. And just, doing a good job of explaining everything that's happening. And there's lots of spoken
Yiddish.
So growing up with I had, tried hearing aids, but profoundly deaf at 8. Had no hearing after that, after the age of 8. And I think I had a cochlear implant at 26, in and around there. And I got it as an adult. So my whole life being profoundly deaf, just kind of navigating through life like that. I graduated high school. It was just like, so just quickly graduate, I was just immersed in my books during that time. So I did miss out on a lot of things. And then just really no connections being made. And then just being married to a husband who could sign was also a great way to and how to express yourselves, a great way to just express and just being a Jewish being part of that Jewish culture and that Yiddish, it was really hard, all of the different dynamics of this. And being alone in that feeling like I'm being alone, like there's alone and being lonely, right? It's a different, just feeling missing out. And once I got married, my husband's like, I want to learn sign language, go to Gallaudet, learn. I really appreciate that. And then finally, just the table talk and the connections that were made. And I had a place where I could breathe with less stress. My parents would come and talk, and it was loud, and trying to lip read just the changes that would have been so beneficial. My dad had a really strong accent. Whew. Mom, she did some signing, but the point is it's really disappointing, right? The traditions, I missed out on my traditions. Trying to hear about those traditions and knowing that my family were a part of them, and I just felt so disconnected. Just being too busy to be involved, and and I was bored. It's like, what do a lot of these things look like?
Right. I want to talk about that. Maybe this is a good time.
And I just really felt lost. Like the connections wasn't as good, as really vague. Like that, and that to keep myself busy, I would just go into the kitchen and clean. Just try to be in these family environments. So just keep myself busy.
Right. People say to me all the time, "Oh my goodness, you're always so happy to volunteer and clean the kitchen." And I always was like, I couldn't follow what was going on in the conversation. And so I just got myself out of the kitchen, out of the dining room, and went to the kitchen. Very common story. Your story is not unusual. It was what I did. I did it to save myself, self-preservation. I would go and play with the dogs, or play or watch or help in the kitchen, And I looking at that was just my survival, or watch TV, right? I wouldn't be part of the conversation, because now, of course, everybody is on a phone texting, and their eyes are on a phone. It's and not being part of the family connection. But that's
Isolating.
it's a real concern for sure, and it's something that we have to think of how to avoid that. Just how can we have the sense of inclusion, right?
Yeah, and I do. There's one thing you were talking about, like the older kids and the younger kids, just and not having a lot of language at a younger age, and how to learn through play. Remember, we were talking about that. The younger, well, a really good friend of mine when I was younger, I cherished the connections we had together. We were able to communicate, and the mother would come. It's like, come, play. Stop playing with the younger kids. Play with your own age. But the older kids didn't want to play with me. And then the adults didn't really take the time to understand why or see that perspective. Or movies without captioning. I will never forget the first time I watched a movie with captioning. It was a Jewish movie. Huh? It was an international movie. There was no English spoken. And so then they had the captions there. And it was like, oh, you brought this over here, and I love this closed caption thing. And once I saw it, I was so emotional. I had tears, and just it was watching of like all the damaged lives in this movie here. Oh, Life is Beautiful. That was the movie. Life is Beautiful. Oh, I bawled my eyes out the first time that I had access and I was able to watch the movie and read the closed captioning. Wow. I couldn't believe how emotional I was, and my dad could see this. He could see that the emotions was there. He could see me cry. I was just openly crying. I was a private child, right? And then I was just openly crying. I remember that. And like there's those video, like we didn't have way back when those cameras, or the glasses with the videos in the glasses, or the closed caption in glasses. We didn't have that way back when. And just really that fight for closed captioning in movies.
And thank you to Marley Matlin for advocating for that. And for the ASL interpreters now, they have that on many movies. So if you go and download a movie on a website, then you can have an interpreter as a cameo. It's quite interesting, because if you want to do that for the coming holidays, that your deaf child will be able to be included with the captioning and interpreter on the screen.
And PBS Kids, they'll have options there for the ASL options. And you'll see be in a small corner. Also Disney. There's some Disney that'll have ASL to their movies. It's really nice to have that.
Definitely. So the other game that we were talking about before, it was quite neat, right? So the lineup on the video when, who did that? Who was the one who said, okay, you know what? Let's get in line, let's do this. And maybe grandma did that, maybe mom did that. But to get this as an idea, get the first person in line and then they go to the back of the line, etc. And then it's auntie's turn and then it's cousin's turn and whatever. So the kids know, and then the rules are clear. And then you can either start with, my name is whatever, I am auntie such and such, I am cousin such and such, make a game like that. And also when you talk about the rules of the game, make sure the rules are identified clearly, right? And give an example. Typically, I will do I'm in Thunder Bay, and when we do the annual Christmas party, we will do a rule explanation of the game, and then we will give an example. Then we will show them so people clearly understand the parameters of the game so that the deaf and hard hearing kids understand it completely before we get started. We don't want them to be confused. So we want them to feel comfortable. We want them to have fun, and then we want them to play. We want them to start making memories.
Yeah, like when I see a visual example first on how to play the game, the explanation is kind of like, what? Trying to understand the explanation visually. So it's really nice to have what the point of the game is and see it visually and what the challenges are for the game.
Next slide, please.
And what is one of your favorite games? Games with families. One game that I remember that I love playing, I haven't played in a while, is on Instagram. I've seen it. One who hosts the party. They'll buy the gifts, they'll wrap them up with just a lot of that wrap and tape. It takes a lot of time, I think. And then you have to get like the oven mitts on and you have to try and open up this great big ball with little gifts inside. So it's just, it's quite fun. And I know lots of laughter has happened there. It's a silly game, but it's fun. One way to explain a game is like sharing a game that you love with your family. There's a white elephant game. Do you remember how the white elephant game goes? Amanda, do you remember?
Oh,
Sorry.
sorry.
That white elephant game. You
I've
pick a
never played
number.
that. No, I can't help you. Sorry.
Okay, there's the white elephant game as well. You bring a gift under, I don't know, whatever, $25, whatever it is. Bring your gift, put it under the tree or hold it, and then pass around a bowl with numbers. Everybody picks a number. You're not planning to buy a gift for a specific person. It's just a generic gift. It's like a ironic Christmas party, right? And I was the only deaf person there. And there's like that old telephone game, and everybody's just laughing. And I was sitting there. It wasn't for me, right? That wasn't my game. So once we played this white elephant game, the family really learned how to finger spell or spell numbers, or charades, gestures. That's another fun game. When I was living in the States, many Americans struggle with gestures, but internationally, wow, the gestures and the body movement and language is much more pronounced there. So it just really takes practice, right, to do this with your family environment. And then was that the gingerbread decorating? You could always add vocab to, I want a gumdrop or I want the candy cane. And you could learn together the signs of these different candies and just building the the gingerbread house together. Next slide, please. Do you want to take this one?
Sure. We did mention some of these already, but the captioning is very important. Captioning on everything, on each TV program, on your movies, whatever you're watching, and make sure on TV shows and movies to have that, or even YouTube videos, you can have the closed captioning option turned on, and then that you can choose that as part of something for your holidays, right? So there are also other ASL stories online too that you can watch, even for younger kids too, and ASL Christmas stories as well. Visual timers, this is for hard of hearing, even deaf kids, hard of hearing kids, not just a buzzer, but to have a light flashing. It means after so many minutes, we're going to do such and such. So to have a timer set, and especially for holiday events, to lots of things are happening at holiday events, first we eat, then we play a game, etc., etc. So do you want me to add some more here, some more ideas, or?
Yeah, the visual timers are just easy to, the contrast of colors is easy to identify, or when a time is running out. It's really important to have that known and just have it's visually friendly. Maybe something light blue or white, for example, isn't always the easiest background to be visually clear. So there's other colors that would be deaf friendly, just something kind of clear, could be black, something that just really helps with visual cues. There's different darker colors.
Yeah.
Alarms with lights. You could have that, something that pays attention, turn your lights on, waving to get attention getting. Also important. And I think Amanda already explained some of the rules, gestures, showing how things look like, what help would look like. And we already discussed clear turn taking. That's visually clear. Also using the object, the turn taking object, and then whoever has it, it's their turn to communicate. That could be very helpful. I believe that might be the last point.
I think we have 2 more slides to go. Yeah, no, next slide, please. All right, who do you want to go?
This is open to anyone in the audience. I'm going to take a minute to think about, I don't know, just pick one thing from the list there that you would, make a change that you would make at home, requests for a relative to make a change, or something, a deaf-friendly game that someone could come up with an idea, or, something we had signed in family as a family unit could learn together. Just take 1 minute just to kind of read through that and respond in the chat with any of your ideas or answers. The PowerPoint here, visual time. I can't see this. I just have this put up on my computer so you guys can see. give everybody another minute. Anybody want to share the reflections or what they might do at home for some plans that you guys could take home? And Annie, she had some changes. She would add labels to objects for her son to use. Typically wants to know things to try, like I want to build things I want to be able to teach. And also bring that down to eye level so they're able to easily see that or chat with them. And stop telling them to use their words, be deaf friendly. Don't expect him to answer and stop telling him to use his words. Yeah. So just kind of just make it more natural. We're all human, right? Deaf friendly games, hide and seek. And that's really hard. Why? Because like when the game's over and you can't hear when the game is over and then you can't find it. So that's where it gets a little bit sticky or challenging. It's happened before, like trying to hide things, then you can't, and then people are yelling like, where it is, where is it, where is it? It's just really hard sometimes. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Just hide and seek, make sure there's options.
Hide and seek in a pair, with a buddy. And even hide something. You know, my son loves that. We would hide a truck or hide a train or hide a toy or something, you know, teach them when the game is over and that you can't hide forever. You know, there has to be an obvious start time, an obvious end time. And so when the game is over, you know, when we're done, we will pound on the whatever. That means if you feel pounding, that means the game's over. You can't go to the basement in the far corner. You have to stay generally close around that you would be able to feel that. So yeah, you have to follow these rules.
And another one is parents. We have Zachary. We play simple games like where the object is, the color of the cups, animals, ABCs, and we place them on the table, and then we'll just take turns signing them, take turns around the table and searching for the right object that was signed. No, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
And the person with the most right, then the last one obviously wins the game. Our family is more focused and everybody's involved and it's sign friendly. And our little one, who is very young, is able to be involved. We have T&M Hilton, change, always labels and don't remove them. The game headbands, kind of good for describing animals and objects, good for classifier use. That is awesome. I love that family game. And they can show off your smarts and show how talented you are. Yeah, and then I agree with Annie. We should practice like hide and seek with a pair and practicing stuffed animals, searching, and also the sign for the animals too.
Moms know. That's awesome. Yeah. Thank you very much. These are great ideas. Anyway, if nothing else, it's food for thought, right? And we can share the slides with you if you're interested. You could take some time to consider some other options. These are just some helpful tips. These are not all the answers, not exhaustive list, but definitely get you start thinking. Next slide, please. Right. Do you want to go or me?
There was a comment from another person here. It's really important to be helpful. And
Yes.
finally, some of our takeaways. Small changes can make the big access, can create big access. And it's really important not to try to overwhelm our family members. Try to set up, something that's limitations or expectations that aren't too high, so the families want to be involved, and just really start small. Like I said, 5 signs, just keep it simple.
5 signs a week.
And that's just like one tip, and then just keep doing that for the 5 signs a week. If it's younger kids, get them interested now. Like, oh, I like this, and learn the signs for these, and keep them interested. Just build upon those signs that you've learned. Amanda, do you want to add anything?
Sure. I always say to some of my families, if you're learning at 1 sign a day, then in a month, how many signs are you going to learn, right? That's 30. And then if you were to, obviously count 2 months, like in a year, 365 signs, right? If you look at it, you go, oh my gosh, 365 is impossible, but baby steps is doable, right? And if you're just learning one a day, that's a great start. That's a great, if you want to learn 10 a day, that's too much. Really, it'll overwhelm a family. Let's start with the baby steps and you can succeed. The communication will come, not just with you, but for everybody in the family. And that includes really, there's dual purpose here, making sure to talk about it, right? And to include the deaf and hard of hearing or hard of hearing child in our family events, of course. That's important for the family to know, and it's important for the deaf child to know as well. A teenager can talk about their feelings, and a younger one can also tell their feelings in different ways. But there's things that start with just look at me when you're talking to me, right? Those are important things for deaf people, and those are if you plan things ahead of time, then it'll just come together during the holidays. And make sure you know your child, right? They deserve to be part of the family and to be included and to be part of the traditions and to make sure that they understand what those traditions are and so that they can know that those are an important part of being part of the family. Did you want to add something, Erin?
Yes, I really want to emphasize it's really important, the exposure and enjoying the exposure of this. It could be just absolutely a beautiful way to have family connection, create traditions. Like an old sign that I used to use with my family when we had family get-togethers every Friday. Sorry here. Every Friday we'd meet and we'd always have a plan, something, an idea that everybody's comfortable with this idea, and have a new habit. And the new habit would be like it's pointing at who's talking. That was one of our new habits that we would create. Or a stuffed animal, and I'm talking, I have the stuffed animal. And just creating habits, right? And then soon you don't have to use the stuffed animal. Then you just use pointing. So then you progressively get a foundation, and you're able to build upon that. And is the deaf child enjoying it, right? And is the family enjoying it? You'll do it more and more and more, and make it exciting. People don't want to be missing out, and your child can really take the opportunity through the holidays to be with everybody and find that joy of being together and really get the joy of making connections with everyone and feeling included in everything throughout the holidays.
Yeah, I agreed. I think we're done for the PowerPoint, but if you have any questions before we wrap up, we'd be happy to answer your questions.
Oh, that's really helpful. That's nice to see some beautiful faces. I can see names. I'm curious who that is. I really appreciate all of you. And thank you, Amanda. Really, I really cherish this and thank you so much. And from Robin here, yeah, I just really want to thank the both of you so much, Amanda, Erin, for sharing your experiences, your childhood, what it looked like, some of your tips throughout the holidays, making sure that the deaf and hard of hearing child can be included. And just really listening, watching your comments really made me reflect on my own life, right? And what I could do better right now with my children as well. So really, it's really impactful and beneficial for me as well. Thank you. Now we will have 3 different questions. We want to know for future webinars, what are your hopes? My Zoom host will share the the poll for quizzes, so you can answer what future webinars you would like to see. Go ahead and answer these. Fill them out. Okay, perfect. So it's closed. We've closed that. One person mentioned, they say that one point again. Oh, I think it's done. Can we send it again? Okay, now here's the second question going to be posted. Would you guys like to see webinars every month, every other month, or every 3 months? What's everybody's preference? Go ahead and put that down. Okay, and let's go with our third question. Here it is. Do you have any topics that are anything that you'd really be interested in learning more about? Anything that we've talked about? Any something that you'd like to have in our future webinars that you believe would be beneficial for you? I want to make sure that, there's resources or the stories or the people that you'd have access to. It's really important for us to know these things as well. I'll give you a little bit of time to type out an answer. And if there's any topics that anybody's been thinking about, just put them down there. All answers are great. Oh yeah, I do see some people adding. I'm just gonna wait a little bit longer. I will count all the numbers. Oh, there's still more coming in. I'll just give it another second. count is 10. Countdown 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're done. We're going to close the poll. Thank you, everybody, so much for your time. And thank you to everyone here. Now, I also want to thank you for the interpreters and our Zoom host for spotlighting, and it was just so beautiful. So next month, we will have another webinar, Muslim families and some of their stories and the services. And maybe there'll be some benefits to all of you for all of us as well. And your poll that you shared with us, I am going to, look at it and figure out what other webinars that we may host in the future from your comments. Maybe there's some other deaf or hard of hearing organizations that would be interested in collaborating with us. Please share my email, and they're free to email me and see if we can work together in the future. And again, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you to everyone for coming and joining tonight. I hope you have a wonderful holiday. And again, remember, you can email ASL consultants. If you have any questions, you need some answers, go ahead and email any of us, and we'd be happy to answer any of your questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you